Diana, I got your number from your resume on LinkedIn. My name is Sarah, and I'm an old student of, and like you, we had a relationship. I don't know the circumstances of your relationship with him, but it concerns me to see his behavior continued long after I knew him. I'm curious if you would be willing to talk to me about your experience. If not, I respect that.
Sarah, I am at a loss of words, but also have so much to say. Yes, I would love to talk to you about this. Were you a student in Iowa? This is Diana.
This is Sarah.
And this is Blooming After Grooming, our podcast.
I was also going to ask if you were going to make a little jingle, like we're going on vacation.
We're not gonna record for a couple of weeks, so why don't you smell our feet unless you're a foot pervert, and then you have to pay.
And we'll be back in May.
See? Shit, yeah! Damn, girl. Way to hop on that fucking wagon with me. Thank you.
So, all right. On today's episode, sweet listeners, I don't know how much of... You
so
leaned into that one. You wanted the world to hear it.
Hey, man. I don't edit myself, dude.
As you shouldn't, because I do it.
Feel free to leave that belch in. It sounded like a good one. Anyways,
continue. That was a good one. No, that was a good one. I heard that one echo within my ears. So that was really good.
You're welcome. The gift.
Is there another one coming? There's another one coming.
No, I mean, probably. I don't know why I drink LaCroix when we do this. It's just so stupid.
Before that beloved belch, which we will leave in. Sweet, sweet listeners, Sarah and I are taking a few weeks off. As you heard in our song, we'll be back in May. But today, we will leave you with some listener emails, and then we're going to take a little bit of time off. And then we have some super cool conversations coming up. Do you think we could say we're going to talk to Detective Mike? I think so. Right?
Has he officially said yes to being on the pod? Or did he just say,
talk to us?
I'd like to talk to you? We don't have it booked yet, though. I don't know. She said yes, but we don't have a date. We haven't recorded it yet. We could say we may or may not have a detective, and we may or may not have a senator. We will have another podcast host.
We'll have another
two
podcast hosts.
And we may have a Boy Scout abuse survivor. You could say a lot of maybes. Those are big maybes.
Those are a lot of maybes. But we're very hopeful. They're like 90% maybes.
Yeah.
So
I would say so.
Yeah.
We just have to actually
that doesn't sound right. 90% maybe makes it sound like it's more maybe. But what I'm trying to say is they're 90%.
I get
maybes.
You just said the same thing twice.
No, but
you mean they're 90% a sure thing. Only 10% of it is a maybe. You're saying the opposite.
Yeah.
You're trying to say.
But
I'm trying to correct it and just said the exact same thing.
I'm picturing a maybe in my head, and it's got a 90 on a shirt. So it's like a 90% maybe.
What the fuck?
And it's a
I think we have discovered that you have some kind of visualization condition we were unaware of. So specific. Also, that we were saying it, my brain saw the number 9 and then the letter D. You just kept saying 9D, and I was like, wait,
not 90.
Oh my God.
We're never I don't know. It's that full moon. It's the April full moon. We're just we got the giggles.
We are fooling it up. What the fuck?
Okay. So let's get into reading emails from our listeners. Thank you to everyone who has written in. Feel free to keep reading it. Right. Did I say thank you for everyone who's
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. Okay.
Whew. Oh,
Okay,
it feels-
everyone.
feels good to laugh. This is also like you trying to. You got like serious shit to read. And we got
I know. I was just thinking that I need to get it together so I don't read through someone's
Okay.
like drama email.
Yeah. Rape, murder, incest, go. Bring it
Oh my
down a
God.
couple notches.
Sarah, that really did it.
Woo.
Okay.
Put that on your fucking t-shirt. Okay. Let's go.
Wow. Stop making jokes. You're going to make it come
Sorry.
back.
I'm funny. I'm sorry that I'm so fucking naturally funny. It's a problem.
Okay. Stop being so clever and witty. Oh my God. All right. Thank you to everyone who has written in. And if you want to continue writing us, we may or may not check it while we're on this little break, but we will definitely eventually see it. Our community is small but mighty. So right now I would say that the emails are manageable and we really do appreciate all of them. We are going to read from 4 listeners who have given us their blessing to share their email. And that's what we're doing today.
I was gonna say thank you to our listeners for like A, sharing their stories, and then B, being willing or interested in having us share them with the rest of our listeners.
And when this comes out, it'll be about mid-April. Today is the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. It is also the beginning of Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Mm-hmm.
Check out enoughabuse.org because they've got some resources for Child Abuse Prevention Month. We will also link some sources where you could find some information about how you could support the mission of Child Abuse Prevention Month. And I think the color is blue, right? There's some days where we're all supposed to wear blue to show our support. Speaking of enough abuse, I received an email where they also kind of provided some updates that are exciting and I think really important in this time, especially because we are living history, like we're living through it. And we've had like 20-ish years of a digital age, and it's just been kind of like the wild, wild west. And now there's these really important cases that are actually holding these billionaires and big social media companies responsible for the damage that they're doing to the minds of our kids and the health of our kids and the mental health of our kids. So last week, so about the end of March 2026, a New Mexico jury ordered Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, to pay $375 million in civil penalties for enabling child sexual exploitation on its platforms. This lawsuit, brought by the state's attorney general, was the first jury trial to hold Meta accountable for acts committed on its platform.
Wow. What a precedent that sets.
Yeah. Yes, for real. And I love that it was a jury of the people. Right?
That's usually what a jury is.
I know,
Unlike
but
those juries made of lambs and goats. Those
No.
fuckers
I
never
mean,
vote the right way.
like the people, not the billionaires. Or do you think it has to be a jury of their peers? What does it mean to have a jury of your peers?
No, those are
like-
just normal people. Billionaires don't get like special billionaire.
That's what I'm
juries.
saying, is that like it was the people who were like, fuck you,
It's true.
billionaires. It's time for you to pay. I love that.
You're talking underage, sexual content. You're talking self-harm. You're talking bullying. I mean, like, it really does set a precedent that they really could be held accountable for a lot of other shit that they should be held accountable for, because also they know they have an addictive product. They know they have a product that is impacting people's mental health. They have these quote unquote tools in place that are supposed to be keep people safe, but like they're not working correctly. And meanwhile, they're making trillions of dollars. You know what I mean? So I think it's about damn time after 20 years probably of Meta,
Almost 30,
Facebook,
probably,
whatever existing. I remember somebody talking about it when I was a senior in high school. That was, over 20 years ago.
Also, a jury in Los Angeles ordered Meta and YouTube to pay $6 million in damages for their negligent use of addictive algorithms that led to mental health problems for young users. Roblox, the online gaming platform, is facing over 100 lawsuits for enabling the child exploitation and sextortion of children. These lawsuits have already led the platform to require age verification and limit its chat features to quote unquote trusted connections for children.
Hmm.
You know what I was thinking? And I don't know, Sarah, maybe you would know this because you have friends with teens. Let's say you and I are mothers together and we have a teenage daughter.
Are we together? Are we a
And
lesbian couple in this make-believe
yes,
universe?
yes, you
Yes.
and I are
That poor
wives.
kid. That poor kid.
What do you mean? That kid's a baddie.
Oh, that kid's life would be so chaotic.
They would have a good time. Let's say you and I have a teenager. It doesn't even have to be a teenage
Mhm.
daughter. And we're on a family plan. We all have iPhones.
Mhm.
When our teenager is trying to download an app, let's say they're trying to download Instagram,
Mhm.
they have to put in whoever the head is, right? Like the head of the.
It completely depends on how you have it all set up, is my understanding. So you can just give your kid a phone and it's no different than you having a phone, and nobody has any oversight on what's happening on that phone if you don't put any guardrails in place, right? So there's just kind of like levels of what you can do. You can either be like, here's a phone, good night and good luck, right? Like I have no oversight on what you're doing. And then there's other people where like you can't download anything without me, yeah, like putting a code through or approving it on my phone. So it's really up to the parent how
Oh,
on
okay.
top of things they want to be. And I have some friends that like totes trust their kids, never check on their shit, view their phone kind of like a diary. And it's like, that's not my business. And then I have other friends that do like weekly, like hand your phone over and I'm going to go through your shit and see like who you're talking to, what apps you're on. It's totally up to everybody what they're comfortable with and what they think is appropriate.
I've seen a few ads for Instagram for teens. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
let's say that you download that for your teen, what's stopping them from downloading just regular old Instagram? Like that's why I'm wondering, like, okay, because like when I download an app, I have to put in my Apple ID password.
Yeah.
So just would our teenage kid in this scenario, would they have to put in like one of our passwords or do they have their own? I don't know. It's just I'm very curious
I
about
don't
yeah.
really know, but I would assume that's all customizable. Do you know what I mean? I would assume each phone has its own account, just like it is for adults. You know what I mean? But I've
Mhm.
also, because I'm not a parent and you are not, this is why we don't know these things. Like, I don't know if when you go to the phone store and you say, I'm buying this phone for my child, they might set them up differently. Yeah, I don't really know. That's a good question because I don't think anything would be stopping them from downloading the normal app, or you don't even have to download another app. You just make another fucking account. If you're not tech savvy, your kid could have
Mhm.
apps that you don't want them to have, but they could be somewhere where you can't see them. You can also download those like filters that changes the way all the icons and stuff look to be like themed to something you like. So then none of it's fucking recognizable anyways. So like whatever. Kids are
Yeah,
smart, dude, and there's so much you can do with technology. So like if your kid wants
they're
to
gonna
be
find a
acting a
way.
fool, they're probably going to find a way, but I also don't think that's a good excuse for just not paying attention to what your kids are doing.
Not trying. Yeah. When I was in high school in like the early 2000s, Facebook was the thing, and Facebook and MySpace, and it was all banned from the school computers. But of course,
Mhm.
word would get around, and these I actually don't know now, like how word got around because we didn't have. It's not like we were texting each other links, but somehow we all knew like this website to put in and that would allow us to put in Facebook and we would be able to get access to Facebook. So yeah, like
Yeah.
kids find a way. Yes. So all this to say that it's awesome that these big social media companies are being held to account, being at least
Mhm.
hopefully encouraged to come to the table to talk about how to, and I don't know, is regulate the right word? Does that seem like too big government? But as we've talked about so many times, people unfortunately don't always do the right thing naturally without any kind of
No.
consequence. And I kind of do feel like we need to maybe regulate the internet a little bit more because it's just like kids, if you do just give a kid a phone, like without
Mhm.
any kind of restrictions, they could see so much crazy shit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I have friends that I've had conversations with them about like certain apps their kids have been on and been like, dude, I've heard really bad stuff about this app. I've heard that, it's leading them down weird algorithms, kind of like the lawsuit for YouTube or even chat AI ones, where it's like, these are really prone to the robot just starts having sexual conversations. And it's partially because the robots are learning from the people. And if there's a bunch of creepy dudes on there, like sex chatting with it, it's teaching that chat that that's what people want to do. So then it's doing it to everybody, including like kids, you know what I mean? So some of it's not like, ooh, these evil companies that are strategically trying to make stuff creepy. It's like you're putting a product out there that can be impacted by the general public. Well, okay, look what's happening with a lot of these AI things. Like creeps are using it to make AI porn and take clothes off of pictures of teenage girls. And like, people are feeding garbage to this robot. The robot's just spitting the garbage back out at people. So, and then who it's getting spit back out onto is kind of the problem. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know that's like, big government, whatever, people, big brother, we should all have our own rights, yada, yada. But like, also we have not caught up with technology on a legal level.
Not
Like
at
we really
all.
haven't. And there are real ramifications not getting caught up. But yeah, it opens up a real wiggle room. If you don't have a policy for it and you don't have a law for it, and then somebody abuses it, you can't really charge them with anything because there's not a law yet. So I do think it's exciting that they're kind of starting to maybe catch up. The stuff that you're talking about came from email that goes around from Enough Abuse. I think you just kind of mentioned them a little bit at the beginning, but I wanted to like reiterate that. You can find them at enoughabuse.org. Is a great organization. They do a lot of really important work around the subject. They specifically focus on child sexual abuse. But yeah, they're like monthly newsletters, I think are like super helpful. And then they also have like a monthly kind of giant Zoom call that you can join in on and like listen to people talk about the issues and different things that are happening in different states. So I think if you're interested in the subject, you want to kind of just keep abreast of, national and state level things are happening. They're a great organization to check out.
Okay, one more little update. You've mentioned the teenager suing Elon Musk's Grok. X's Grok AI has allowed people to create thousands of sexual deepfakes of real people, including children, and share them widely. Due to this, the city of Baltimore and several Tennessee teens are now suing XAI. You know how we've maybe on this podcast or maybe off podcast have had conversations of the next smoking, like what is the next thing that people are going to look back and be like, oh my God, I can't believe people did that. How did they not know? And we've talked about how it's going to be people putting pictures of their kids on the internet, because if you have pictures of your kids and they're like public pictures, that's part of what's like feeding AI. And we talked about like deep fake kitty porn, where what's feeding that machine to generate those AI faces. You know what I mean? Like it's just so gross. And I feel like just happy to see that there's some kind of legal action happening.
Yeah, I know. We had a conversation about this at work because there was a trend that was going around just a few weeks ago where it was like a funny little meme where it was like, this is the person that you're yelling at that your latte isn't good. And it was showing like, baristas, but like pictures when they're little kids, right? And it was like funny, and it was all like, oh, this is the person that does your like accounting, and it's like a little kid, and it is really cute.
Oh, yes.
Like, oh, that would, and everyone's like, oh, that'd be really
trending.
cute to do. We should do that. We should do that. And my one coworker was like, yeah, but then I'm reading all this stuff that people are talking about, like you shouldn't put pictures of kids online because of what you're talking about, Diana, exactly. And then it's like, even though we're adults now, it's like, do you want your pictures out there that creeps could be like scanning? And it's like, man, what a sick, sad world that we live in, that we have to have these conversations at work. Like literally we were writing copy for something the other day and they were saying like, usher in a new season. And I was like, man, Usher just came out being all pro P. Diddy and saying that he got done dirty. And I was like, don't use the word Usher. Like, it's just like, it's bumming me out, man. Use a different word. But like the amount of time that we spend on a marketing level at my job, just trying to tiptoe on the internet through these landmines of like abuse and sexual assault, just trying to sell a product. You know what I mean? Of like, how do
Mhm.
we do this safely? How do we do this in a way that is cognizant of the world around us right now? How do we not make people associate this simple post about a sandwich special with P. Diddy, right? Like it's such a bizarre reality to have to live in, that's the world that we're in right now.
But it's good to know that there are companies that are actually trying to be cognizant of that.
Like you have to fucking think this
Yeah.
shit through. This is not important.
Now we're going to get into emails because those were all the updates. Thank you again to Enough Abuse for sharing those really important and I think timely
Mhm.
updates. Like I really kind of had to sit with this email because there was part of me, listeners, I set aside weekly time to just go through my email because I get a lot of like newsletters and a lot of, just emails. And so I like to actually go through all of them and read through them. And I was kind of going through all of them quickly today. And then this one, I was like, wait, this is big. Like, again, I think
Mhm.
technology is just moving so fast and life is moving so fast and there's so much to keep track of. But like, these are some like really important foundational legislative events that are happening, hopefully for the better, for the future. Because, internet technology, it's not going anywhere unless the grid really does go down. In that case, we got other things to worry
Yeah.
about. But like, we have to learn to live with the internet and with technology. And thank you, Enough Abuse, for shining light on this issue and for following. They're following federal bills. You can check that out on their website, but they're following, I think, like 100 or something federal bills
Wow.
that are about protecting kids. So, yeah,
Good for them.
good for them.
And good for you for like being present when you check your email. I am more the opposite of I check it like every day and I'm just like, yeah, da, 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 and I like just fucking skim over everything and don't really absorb things. So good for you.
It takes effort. It takes effort, And I mean, listen, it helps that I don't have children. I don't have a spouse.
Neither do I.
I have a
Oh, okay. I
cat.
have one of
But
those.
you have, yeah, you got a dog, you got a husband, you gotta like, you can't just ignore him. You
I mean,
gotta
I
talk to that
try.
guy.
Oh, I gotta talk to this guy again. Shit. Exhausting.
All right, well, let's talk about some emails. Our first email comes from Sammy, and she writes, "Hi there. I do not have a question, but a statement. I didn't know that I would be in such a need of language surrounding grooming. I'm in a spot in my life where I've finally been able to process some of the sexual abuse I encountered when I was 15 through 22." And then she writes, "Thanks, Sertraline, for treating my OCD. It took me 10 more years to realize that I was not in love. And now I am beginning to call it by its foul names: grooming, sexual abuse, this which had consumed 7 years of my life, hundreds of miles, my parents uncovering, long letters to prison to a sexual predator in the midst of my senior year of high school, and lies to the friends and family I told, to those who I loved in my life. Thank you for sharing and educating. I didn't know how bad I needed this. I have more to say, but this will have to do." Thank you, Sammy. And 15 through 22, I remember when I read that, I was like, dang, we were kind of like around same ages. I was with my abuser from 16 through 25. And yes, I love that Sammy wrote, "And now I am beginning to call it by its foul names." And then she lists off what that means to her. So, and then Sammy reached out again just a few weeks after that first email. And she said, "Thank you so much. You've inspired me to reach out to another girl who I believe was also groomed by the same man. She has responded. I don't think I would have found the courage to do this without what you both have created. Looking forward to season 2. Thank you again." Heart emoji, the red one.
The red one.
The
That's
red
like
heart.
so touching, Diana. Think about how powerful that is though. Like those people are going to have theoretically the same kind of connective tissue relationship that we have. Like it's a pretty big deal that we've like helped other people find that for themselves.
Yes, it is.
Are you
It is a
frozen?
big deal.
You look
Oh
frozen.
no, am
I
I?
said something nice and you
I
froze. Diana is resistant to feelings.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm just gonna keep on singing. I don't know where you went. Oh, you can hear me. You're frozen. You're like this. Don't know why I said the things I said. Yes, I'm still singing Cher.
Yeah, you sound just like her. Okay,
Thank
hi.
you. It's all I've ever wanted to be told my whole life. I was saying such nice things to you, and then all of a sudden I realized
I heard it all. I heard it all. I heard Sarah. There was no break for me. That's why it was so weird. Is like I was talking to you just like this, and you were singing to me and saying, "Diana doesn't like hearing nice things." I said something nice too, then you froze. I started cracking up. So I heard it. So we're back. Thank you again, Sammy. I think hopefully it caught all of our comments about your emails and how much we appreciate you writing in. And it really did mean a lot.
So happy that people are like listening and then taking action, because it's one thing to like listen to something and like hear your story reflected at you, which has value, obviously, but like to then reach out to somebody that you think might have also been a victim, like that takes fucking guts. So kudos to them for doing that, because you know, you could say like you wouldn't have done it without us, but we didn't do it. You did. So good
You're the
good
one.
job, you.
Yes. I'm so happy you said that. Our next email comes from Elaine. Elaine writes, I am absolutely obsessed with everything you two are doing. Oh, thank you, Elaine. That's such a compliment. I will never be able to thank you enough for the podcast you've created. I found out about your podcast yesterday or the day before and have binge listened to almost all your episodes already. You two are helping me feel so much less lonely in my trauma. Thank you for being a little friend in my ear and helping continue my healing process by hearing over and over that it was not my fault and just understanding all the nuances of the miserable reality of being a victim of grooming/sexual abuse. I thought I was mostly healed from my trauma until I moved back to my home state and nearby city. And holy crap, was I nowhere near healed, quote unquote, healed. I have started therapy. She put it in quotes. That's not me just saying, quote unquote, healed. I have started therapy back up since moving back, and my therapist has encouraged me to really dig deep and confront what happened to me. In doing this, I have found so much comfort and healing in searching out other survivor stories of healing and redemption. All this rambling to say, just thank you. Thank you for all that you do. I know it's not easy, but you are doing the work and changing lives.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so nice. And it's not rambling. It's not rambling. We appreciate all the emails.
Don't be worried about rambling with these two ramble bots. My God, that's all we do. We have a whole podcast and it's just going blah, 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 for like a fucking hour. It's what we do.
Yes. I forgot a really big important sentence from Elaine's email. Sorry. She also wrote, okay, so she said, you two are helping me feel so much less lonely in my trauma. And then she wrote, I go to therapy, I've talked to my friends and my husband, etc., but no one can completely understand what it's like to be groomed and sexually abused like another survivor can. And I'm glad I read that sentence because it's so true. I mean, Sarah, you and I had a meeting with an upcoming guest, and we were just so like giddy and excited talking about grooming and research and like trauma survival. It's just and it's like we can do that because we don't have to explain ourselves, and it's so true. And that's not to say that it's not helpful to talk to our therapists or our friends or our spouses or our partners or whoever, but it does really feel like a hug when you're talking to a fellow survivor who understands it.
Yeah, you can just kind of jump in and kind of have conversations that you can't really have with other people who don't share the same kind of trauma as you.
Proud of you, Elaine, for seeking therapy when you noticed that moving back to your hometown or going back to the place was getting to be a little bit too much. That's very commendable.
Yeah, that is a big part of it too, right? Is like it's easy to feel quote unquote healed when you're not having to face the thing, right? Like when you're not around the people, you're not around the locations. It's easy to think you've gotten past it, but it's just maybe that you're not you're not being fucking triggered every day, you know? So yeah, kudos to Elaine for getting therapy. Therapy is for us, is for everyone. It should be free. It should be like an annual health exam. This is my dream. That just like you go to the doctor every year, there should be one day a year we will all get to go and you get an 8-hour session. And also there's a massage option at the same time. This is my dream. I
Yes.
want to be
This is
getting
the matriarchy
a back
utopia.
massage. Yes, while I'm just talking. And then I'm also like, you know, drinking kombucha and all the good things. That sounds like a good day.
That sounds, can we please make this happen? Okay. This is okay. Again, octopus lords. This is what we need in the future. We need walk-in clinics for anyone who is having any kind of crazy thought, no judgment, just
Mhm.
treatment. We need this thing that you just talked about, which was 8-hour, 1 year, 1 day,
One
a year,
year, 8 hour. Because you know how it is. It's always right when that
Mhm.
hour's about up is right when you get into the good shit. Every single time.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
so
oh, we've
true.
got 7 minutes left. It's like, oh yeah, and then my, you know, uncle killed a hooker in Vietnam and he might be my dad. Anyway, see you next week. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a real story, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's what? Like, you always feel like you're about to
Yeah.
open the clamshell right when the time runs out. So I think an 8-hour session would be great.
8-hour, and maybe with like a lunch break in between or something, you know, or like a
Yes.
massage break in between.
Sushi.
And
There's sushi
yes.
and then a massage.
Cucumber water
Yeah. And then you go back in.
and therapy cats. Or
And then
dogs.
somebody drives
or
you
beta
home
fish.
because you're exhausted.
then-
Someone drives you home.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's dogs and
I
cats.
love this.
I'm
love
telling you, it's a
this.
dream.
You get to sit in like in a zero gravity chair afterwards.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And truly,
Weed
like,
is
yes,
optional at the end. You
Ah!
get a little high. You get high. You get sent home with weed, some snicky snacks, and like a warm blankie. And then you just go and watch like The Office or whatever your, you know, Parks and Rec, whatever your happy place sitcom is, and just
Yeah.
zone out. Until
We
you're
don't even
asleep.
need credit for this idea. People with the power and technology and money, do it. Make it happen for us. In our
Rich people
lifetime.
are just like, this is my every Tuesday.
Oh my God. So thank you, Elaine, for that email.
Sorry, Elaine.
We very much appreciate you. Okay. Our next email comes from another Sarah with an H. Dear Sarah and Diana, let me first tell you, all caps, thank you for making a podcast about grooming. Hearing your stories of survival, your healing journeys, and your laughter have brought me so much comfort and have made me feel less alone. You both have such wonderful, non-judgmental personalities, and you're lucky to have each other. I feel like I'm judgmental as hell, so
I was
thank
gonna
you.
say, wow. I feel like all I do on this podcast, dude. Like every time I edit, I'm like, why do you laugh all the time? Like a weirdo. Like I laugh when things aren't even funny. I'm just like, and then I had some water.
I do the same thing. I do
God,
the
it's like a
same thing.
nervous tick. It's so stupid.
It's
I say
nervous
like,
laughter.
yeah, I say like way too much. I say like, do you know what I mean? Or right? And then I feel like all I'm doing is just judging. You know, hey, we perceive ourselves differently than we are perceived by others.
We definitely do.
Sarah
Maybe-
sees a good version of us. apparently.
Yes. What was I going to say? Oh my God. Oh, there's a robin outside. Oh, what I was going to say is maybe Sarah is saying we're not judgmental of survivors and victims of grooming and sexual abuse.
I would say
Okay,
so.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Well,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. We'll take that.
Yes. You'll love this next sentence. Also, I love when Sarah's rage shows. And every time either of you makes a comment about how much you despise the man that did this to you, I giggle so much because, frankly, the teacher you call a, quote, pretentious asshole, unquote, sounds exactly like the English teacher that groomed me too. They're always the same, insufferable and stuffy while simultaneously thinking they're God's gift to women. Eye roll, she put.
It's extremely
Anyway,
accurate.
yes. Anyway, I'm making my way through each episode, and I know if I were making content like this, I'd want to know it was reaching my audience and if it were making a difference. You guys have said as much on the podcast. Well, it is, and it has been such a positive thing in my life, a source of laughter, community, and validation. So thank you guys for that, and please keep going. XOXO Sarah.
Oh, that's so
Another
nice.
very yes,
I
another
also
very,
love that
very
she's
nice
like, you're
email.
not judgmental, especially when you call this guy a pretentious piece of shit. I get what she's saying, and he deserves it, but it's a hilarious sentence to listen to. I do appreciate Sarah writing in, and I think that is a good point. Is like it is nice to hear back from people just to know like this is landing with some people and this is connecting and meaning something to people or significant to them in some way because it is a lot of work and we spend a lot of time doing it and we make zero doll hairs doing it and we're just kind of doing this out of passion and so it's cool to know that it's like going somewhere and that it's landing for people. So I do appreciate that. I think that's very cool of her to put herself in our shoes, right? Like if I was doing this, I would like to know if
Yeah.
it was landing. So thank you, Sarah. But I also want to say I'm also fascinated how people are finding the pod. Like whenever we kind of get those messages where people are like, "Oh, I just heard about your podcast." I'm always like, "How? Where?"
Okay. Our last email comes from Laura. She says, "Hi. So this was an email from this might have been our first email of 2026. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
exciting." She said, "Hi, I recently discovered your podcast and binged the entire first season." Okay, Laura,
Wow.
hope you
Laura.
got a glass of water. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you took some breaks,
Yikes.
went for a walk, had some fresh air.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay, so she says, "First, I want to say thank you for creating this podcast. I'm also a victim of sexual abuse by an educator. Just 2 years ago, I couldn't even admit that that's what happened to me. Since I started confronting that fact, I've been seeking out other stories as much as I can." I feel like that's a common thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's of course triggering at times, but overall, I feel better knowing that I'm not alone. I love that you're both upbeat and laughing despite the heavy subject matter. As with many trauma victims, humor is one of my favorite coping mechanisms. Sarah, I attended a very small K through 12 school in Nebraska, and I find your story so relatable. I was actually a little shook when you described your school. So often I see these stories portrayed as something that is confined to big cities when that couldn't be further from the truth. Personally, I think small towns are even more susceptible because there are so many blurred lines with people in the community filling many different roles. That's a good point.
Yep.
Diana, my entanglement with my abuser largely happened after I had both graduated and after I turned 18. For a long time, I felt that this somehow legitimized the quote unquote relationship and that my story, quote unquote, didn't count as one of abuse by an educator. I know better now, and your story helped give me the final nudge to understanding that what happened to me is not okay and that my abuse was, in fact, abuse. At the end of season 1, you said that you are unsure if you want to have other victims/survivors share their experiences on your podcast. I fully respect whatever you decide, as it is your platform. However, I ask that you consider how beneficial it can be for victims to hear the stories of others, as well as beneficial for people who wish to share. To quote Hannah Gadsby, "What I would have done to have heard a story like mine." The Me Too movement has helped open people's eyes to the nuances of abuse, and yet abuse by an educator is still considered taboo. It is my opinion that sharing our stories, parentheses, from those who are both ready and willingly choose to share, end parentheses, is the best way to push back on that narrative and help others see this type of abuse for what it is. Your podcast also helped me learn how this type of conduct is handled in different states. In Nebraska, any school employee is prohibited from engaging in a sexual relationship with the student for up to 1 year after they graduate, or they can be terminated and lose their teaching license. Any sexual activity within 3 months of graduation is a felony. I don't think the latter timeline is enough, but I do think it is a step in the right direction, and that gives me hope. Unfortunately, this wasn't enacted until 11 years after my abuse happened, and it isn't retroactive. I am so looking forward to season 2 and the guests you have invited. Also, crossing my fingers for more Judy. Who's Judy?
Was Judy the fake name we gave to?
No, I think we
No.
called her. I forgot what we called her. I don't know who
The hell
Judy is.
Judy.
Laura, let us know who Judy is. I would love to
Laura,
give you
who's
more of
Judy?
Judy. Hello, Sarah and sweet listeners. It is I, Diana, here to tell you that we did indeed give her the nickname Judy. And Sarah and I apparently have just not the best short-term memory. We actually haven't heard from Judy since we had that conversation with her that we talked about on episode 18 of season 1 called Dem Bitches. But we're hoping she's doing well. And hey, Judy, if you're still a listener, feel free to reach out. Let us know how you've been. Okay, let's get back into it.
Judy.
I included some Groom School recommendations below. And again, thank you both so much. She recommends An Education, a 2009 movie, For My Daughter's Honor, a 1996 made-for-TV movie. But she says it is about a very important legal precedent, and A Teacher from 2020. So
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Laura, for that amazing email. I didn't pick these to have this common theme, but I think it's just a common theme when it comes to survivors that, one, we're looking for other stories to be able to feel less alone. And Sarah, I'm just so proud that like we are filling that need for so many people. And it feels really nice to have this little community. Like I said, we're small but mighty, and we really do appreciate every email we get. And it means so much just to know that we're helping people feel less alone and that they can relate to us and how we're navigating life.
It's always refreshing too to hear that people appreciate the chaos and the humor of our podcast. I know that was something we kind of wanted to bring levity as much as possible to the subject, because it'd be very easy for us to be like, this is our extremely serious podcast about a very serious subject. But that's not us, and we do not have it in us. Like, dude, the second we started recording, we're like, this is just what it's going to be, because we can't stop laughing and we can't stop fucking goofing around. So I am glad to hear that that's been refreshing. And it's probably not for everybody. I'm sure some people don't enjoy that flavor, but I think that humor is a great coping mechanism. It usually softens the blow, right? Like, or like, you have to be able to try to find humor in the shit sandwiches that life hands you. So I'm happy that our listeners, at least the ones that reach out to us, feel the same.
Okay, well, thank you again to Sammy, Elaine, Sarah, and Laura for those emails, and to everyone who has written in.
And yeah, reach out if you've got ideas. If you're like, hey, I challenge you guys on maybe a perspective you had on something or a subject you think we should be talking about, let us know. We are here, eager to listen.
I hope you have a fun the rest of your evening.
You too. I hope you have a fun rest of your evening as well.
Okay, bye. Bye, girl.
Later, Tater. I took back those words that hurt you, and you'd stay. Can you make the sound of a camel? I don't know what camel sounds like. Do we get off of this and then get back on it again? Okay, yes. Let's stop. Okay. I will get back on after you tell me to.